talk show.
Well, actually, thanks to you, I was very surprised and pleased to receive your invitation. It really was a surprise to me. Um, it is the first time that I'm being interviewed uh, like this. I've been interviewed, but it's been on print and written articles, but not live. So thank you so very much.
Yeah, no problem. And like I said, I'm a good person. You help me, I help you. And hey, you're making a new friend out of it. Now, I
That
said I said that yesterday. So the reason I do my talk show is to prove a point, and it's my way of making a new friend out of it. So you help me, I help you. And I didn't mean to interrupt. I apologize.
No, that's fine. What I was going to say is one of the reasons, or I think the main reason that I accepted after, of course, looking at your other interviews and finding out who you were, was what you just said, that you are an inspiration to me to do this. And I find it fascinating that someone like you set out to do this, and you have been successful so far.
No, I appreciate it, and I'm very thankful. Now let's get started. I'm gonna ask you a lot of easy questions, and then a lot of hard questions. Then I'm gonna pass it over to you, and you can ask me anything you want. You can take the gloves off. And starting off, what can you tell us about yourself?
Okay, so I can tell you that I am from Venezuela. For those who don't know, it's a country in South America, north of South America, right next to Colombia. We speak Spanish. I have lived all my life between Venezuela and the United States. I've traveled back and forth. My father went to school in Louisiana at LSU, so I'm a Tiger fan. Um, and we went back to Venezuela when I was almost 7 years old. I guess that's one of the reasons I speak English quite well, because I learned it first, which is odd, because I, I learned English before I learned from Venezuela, because when I came here, I was 1 year old. And when I went back, I suffered a lot with Spanish, because my parents didn't worry about me learning English because they knew we were going to go back. So once I learned Spanish, I didn't want to speak English again. So then, until I was about 14, I came for a vacation to Minnesota in exchange with this beautiful family who took me in, and there the English just came back. What else can I tell you? Well, I'm married. I have two beautiful girls that are, my little princesses, big princesses now. Now we're living in New York. We moved to New York about 3.5 years ago. Um, I guess we're going to talk about that in a bit as to why, but I'm just giving you the overall picture. So now I'm in New York. Most of my family is in Venezuela, even though I have an aunt in Louisiana. And I think in a big nutshell, that's where I stand today. And I'm an actor today, and I will explain that later, why I say today.
Now, the next question I was going to ask you, growing up, did you enjoy high school and college? No, actually, the first one is, did you enjoy high school? The second one is, did you enjoy your time in college where you study nerd a party animal? And the third question would be, did you ever do any sports?
Okay, so let's start with high school. I did enjoy high school very much. Um, the only thing, and it wasn't that it wasn't enjoyable, but the only thing with high school, in school in general for me, in Venezuela we only have elementary school and high school. We don't have middle school. The time is the same, but we just break it in two. So for me, elementary school, I jumped all over the country because my dad moved a lot. He was moved a lot. He worked for sugar mills, and we were constantly going different cities. And that happened to me in high school as well. So it was a bit hard in the sense that when you were making the friends, you had to move. So that was hard. However, I think it gave me the flexibility of making friends quite easily also. Fortunately enough, I didn't close up. Instead, I opened, and everywhere I went, I made new friends, and it is still today very easy for me to make new friends like you. And I think it's because of that, because we moved a lot. So high school for me was a bit of a challenge in that sense. However, my last 3 years were at the same city, and that's where most of my very true dear friends are from high school. I was a good girl. I went to a Catholic school, only girls. However, we had tons of fun. I was in every play in school, in every show. I did gymnastics back then, played volleyball. So did a little bit of everything in high school. Now college, um, college was interesting. My first 2 years, I was a party animal. They were in Venezuela, and I was at a very good school in Venezuela. I'm losing you a little bit, the signal. I don't know if you're okay with me.
No, you're perfect.
Okay. Um, so I studied in a very good school in Venezuela for 2 years. Wasn't doing too great in school. I did party a lot. It was my first time with a car. Um, so I decided to come to Louisiana, to LSU, where my dad went to school. And he said, okay, you will do that, and I will pay for it as long as you do well. The second you slack in school, that's it. Your scholarship is over. You're on your own, paying for your own way. Um, and so I did. I came to LSU, started in LSU, then for personal reasons changed to another school, ended up here in New York studying at Pace University, where I graduated from business and a minor in computer science. And I did quite well. I got a scholarship even from the Venezuelan government. We're giving scholarships back then. I was lucky enough to get one, and I did good in school. So I guess I converted, started as a party animal, and then turned into. I mean, I didn't stop partying. I love partying, I must say. Still do. I am the kind of person that might not get there first. I usually get there kind of late to the parties, but I'm the last one to leave for sure. So that still goes on.
Maybe we should.
And in terms of sports, I did a lot of sports and have done a lot of sports all my life. Like I mentioned before, I did gymnastics. I danced. I did I did jazz. I did flamenco as a younger girl. I did kickboxing in college. Um, I've worked out at the gym. I've lifted weights. I played volleyball. Now I'm doing Bikram yoga, which is a very hot yoga, between 105 and 110 degrees for an hour and a half. So yeah, I've done Casey, which is a fighting technique here in the States. That I haven't touched. I've done some training, but so yeah, that's it.
Did you ever get the chance to do, and I just ask this for the girls, because if I ask the guys, it will come off gay. Even though, but it's my way of flirting with the girls, obviously. Did you ever get the chance to do one of those human pyramids, or are you not a human pyramid girl?
You mean the stacking up on the beach and the... No, actually I didn't. But you never know, I am kind of crazy, so I might do it as an old woman.
Well, I love that stuff. I know I'm a loser, but hey, if you're up for it, maybe you can help me do one.
Well, I mean, name the place and the date, and let's do it.
Now, the next question I was going to ask you is, what motivated you to become an actress, and also what brought you to the States?
Okay, I think that both questions are related, actually. So, like I said, I graduated from business from Pace University, and I worked in the business area for many, many years. My last job was at Microsoft, where I worked almost 12 years in the sales and marketing area all the time. And it got a bit too much. The corporate world, um, even though I have no regrets, it's a very interesting place to be. I learned um, massive amounts of sales and marketing technique and life experiences. Um, it wasn't it wasn't fulfilling for me for the last years. My family was suffering a lot. I had to travel a lot because of my job. So one day I decided that I had to quit, sort of gain my personal life back. It was not related to acting. I just wanted to stop the business world. And I did that. And then, as soon as some people found out that I had resigned, they called me to do some consulting. So I said, yeah, it's my own time. I can do my own thing. And it sounded good. There were good clients. One was a consulting firm. So I did that for a little bit, and it ended up being worse. I worked more hours than I did before. I was up very late. And a friend I remember said, you have to relax. You have to take it easy now. Why don't you do this course? There's a class on the weekend. It's a workshop in acting. And, you like that kind of stuff. And I said, yes, why not? It's just to relax. So I did that, and obviously I was the oldest one in the class. Everybody was very young. And, oh my God, that connected me right back to my high school days, my elementary school days when I was on stage all the time in every show. And like I told you, it was really magic. It, it was like finding myself again. And that little tiny, of course, it ended with a showcase. So I was on stage doing, this little play. And it was just thrilling. And from then on, I said to myself, I think I'm pretty sure what is it that I want to do from now on. So I continued to do other workshops. I went to LA and did a couple of workshops with a great woman that recently passed, by the way, in June. Fantastic woman. And I even wrote on my blog about her because she was such an influence for me. Carolyn Barry. And she has great teachers. It's a small school in LA. It's not big, huge, but fantastic classes. So little by little, I started to get more into acting. And I remember a friend of a cousin of mine was a director or is a director in Venezuela. And she said, I know this guy. There's a friend of mine who's casting for a movie. Why don't you go just, try it out, have fun. Never in my life have I done a casting. So it's just going to be some experience to see how it is. And I did that. I went to the casting. I wasn't expecting anything. And I think that's why I was so relaxed, because I knew they were not going to pick me. And sure enough, 2 days after the casting, I got a call saying not that I had a call back, but that I got a part. And that I was going to be the mother of the little girl in the movie. So I guess that started it all. From then on, I started to meet other casting directors, continued to do workshops, went back to LA the next year to do another workshop with Carolyn Berry and her teachers, Josh, Anil Kumar. I mean, they're great, great people there. And then I came to New York to do a workshop in New York, suggested by a friend of mine who went to school with me in Pace University for business, also changed her career to acting. But she did it before I did. And it's funny, but it's beautiful that our paths cross all the time. Because we met in school, and we became close friends because we're born on the same day. So we were celebrating our birthday the same day, and she's like, "Oh, me too." And right, so we started studying in the same school at Pace University, graduating from the same thing. And her change of career, which happened a little bit before mine, was also to acting, and today she's an actress as well. And my dear friend still, she's like my sister. So she told me about this wonderful place here in New York called Susan Batson Studio. Susan Batson. I said that too fast. She's a fantastic coach of many famous actors. Nicole Kidman. She did Tom Cruise back in the days when they were married as well. She's worked with, she's a dear coach and friend of Juliette Binoche, the French actress. I mean, she's an amazing woman and has a very interesting place here in New York for those who want to try it out. It's a gym for the actors that is fantastic. And she helped me so much take that step and say, you know what, this is really what I want to do. So here I am, many years after. And Venezuela, as you may or may not know, is in a very complicated situation politically today. It's a hard place to live, especially for young girls and that want to be moving around, and so it's complicated, Venezuela right now. And I just said, it's my opportunity to come again to New York to study. I didn't want to just do the acting thing, just wing it and get jobs and not study. I went to school for business. I figured I should go to school for acting. And I did that. We decided to move to New York, and I went to Stella Adler on 27th Street. Great school, one of the also those icons of the acting. Stella Adler was Marlon Brando, very close to her. So I did theater mostly there. They're very focused on theater. Graduated a little bit over a year ago. And here I am, just starting over in a new life in acting. So I guess that's, in a nutshell, the long story about how I ended up in acting and in New York.
All right. Now I'm going to pass the show over to you. Was there anything you want to talk about? Anything you want to ask me? You can ask me anything you like. This is your time as well.
Okay, well, I'm going to ask you, how did you start with this project?
I used to work in the long story short. When I was in high school, I was a part of the audiovisual department. I love the whole, I call it AV, but it's the audiovisual. Okay. And there's a guy named Mr. Roll who took me in, taught me how to do this. He was nice enough to let me do the lights and sound. He was nice enough to teach me to do the camera work, to do the editing. He gave me a lot of extra equipment. I wish I still had it, but that was 12 years ago. I wasn't thinking, and so I got rid of it. That's my stupidity. And most of it didn't work anyway, but Anyway, so he taught me how to do the lights and sound and do the edited, setting up the stage, taking down the stage. He had a big influence on my life, even though he thinks I'm a pain in the ass, and I am a pain in the ass. And I did make his hair turn grayer faster than he would like. But I don't know. He really had an impact on my life, and for that I will ever be thankful for him. Um, my dad also influenced me to do this before I met Mr. Earl. My dad did his own stuff. He made yearbooks for the high school
Oh,
yearbooks, video yearbooks, excuse me, video yearbooks.
uh-huh.
So basically, he would take the pictures of the students and do it in the video, and do actual videos of the whole year from September to June. It was really nice, and people wanted to buy it, but my dad wasn't selling it. He could have; he would have made a lot of money. But he did recently his, what was it, 50th or 60th, and he went from all the way to the beginning and all the way up to now, and it was really powerful. There were teasers that were there from 1969 to now, and they saw how they aged over the years, so they started to cry. So it's
Wow.
that powerful that it was a really touching. And when we hang out, we should definitely see it. And if you want, I don't mean to impose on you. I apologize. But it was one of those yearbooks, right? It was nice. I went to one school, and there were I went to Monroe Woodbury, and one
No,
Monroe Woodbury's a rich snobby country club. If you had money, you can do whatever you want, or if people knew you, you can get away with things. But
oh,
like me, because I have a learning disability, and they didn't know me, and they just basically shitted on me. They said, "Oh, we know your son has a daughter." I'll give you a perfect example. When I was there in 2003, we promise you after these 4 years, your son will be a functional adult. He will get the best education possible, and he will pass the classes. Nope. 4 years, I was pushed along. Didn't learn absolutely nothing. Didn't learn jack shit. And it's uncensored. You can say whatever you want. And for people who want to know what uncensored is freedom of speech, freedom of self-expression, and you can say whatever you want. That's what uncensored is. It's not like I'm saying, okay, take your top off. It's not that uncensored. It's uncensored of you can say how you feel from your heart. It's not gonna be like, oh, booby, 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 boobies. No, that's not what uncensored is, because that's degrading, number one. And second of all, how does girls showing their boobies have anything to do with my message? It's kind of redundant. I see you're giving me like a nasty look, but
no, no, no. I'm not giving you that. It's just that it makes so much sense. What you're saying. It's yeah. No, no. I totally understand, and I love it. I love the idea.
yeah, I appreciate it. And going back to wrapping up what I was saying, I worked in retail at one store. I can't say the store because I'd be sued for slander. But basically, it was an outdoor hiking store. Enough said on that. And
Right.
I was there about 4 years, and well, three and a half. I like to say four. And I gave everything there, and it was good use. The guy got in trouble for school. He can't ground me. I have a job to go to, so the job got me out of being grounded. It's like, oh, fine, you can go to work, but when you come back, you have to go sweep rowing because it was a. I don't know if you ever heard of it. It was a job coaching program, job shadowing, where you would can't use the other name or be sued again, but basically it was a group. It was an organization that helps people with special needs get a job, and they work with the high
Okay.
school, and you get high school credit or college credit, one or the other, and they will teach you in a store that would let you how to work in an actual retail environment, and how to interact with people and get experience of working in the job. So I was hired by this job, knowing the fact I had a learning disability, and like I said, I was great at the time, but there was a lot of BS that came with it. And basically, they later on didn't like the fact I had a job coach that came in and looked at what I was doing.
Called what? I'm sorry?
Oh, it was a job coach. Job coach would come in, check on you, talk to the manager, see how's he doing, where can he get influence, or how can he get move on and everything, get better. They didn't like they had a job coach in an outside organization looking in on what they're doing, and that's kind of like, if you knew that, why hire me in the first place? Duh. And second of all, they said, you don't need a job coach. You've been here 3, almost 4 years. You don't need a job coach anymore. And they were my so-called best friends, and they led me to believe we were friends. So I said, okay, I'm gonna take your word over it. That was stupid on my part. So I told the outside organization, I don't need...
It wasn't stupid. It was part of learning.
Right. Yeah, I told them I don't need them anymore, but I will let them know if I need them. They said, okay, that was step one. I didn't know, but this was step one on getting rid of me. They hired this Muslim girl. And I mentioned this over the times, I have nothing against Muslim girls. But this one was a bitch. Like all girls can be. But this one basically zoned me out. Out of everyone, picked me out. And said, oh, Keith, you can tell... I'll use you for a perfect example. Oh, Keith, we're friends. You can tell me anything you like. You can hang out, yada yada. You would go in the back, oh, Keith is stalking me. Keith is doing this. Keith is doing that.
Wow.
I would go in the back, I would get yelled at. And as soon as I walk on the sales floor, I can't, snap my fingers. Oh, we're just screwing with you. We're having fun with you. We know you have a learning disability. We're doing this. Don't take it so personally. And this went on and on and on. I spent more time in the office. Yes, I was in the office being yelled at. But I spent more time in the bathroom throwing up, having panic attacks. And the good news is I was being paid for my time. Bad news was I was affecting my health. So I was forced to resign. To making a long story short, I don't mean to bitch to you. I apologize.
No. It's. Go on.
It's so screwed up. It doesn't sound real. And so I was forced to resign. It took me a whole year to recover. I had an opportunity to go to West Point, where at West Point they were offering classes for people who want to be a custodian. And after 6 weeks, I keep bustering this word. It's not a degree. It's a certificate.
Syndicate?
It's a CER. It's a piece of paper saying you're now certified. It's like a degree.
Oh, yeah, like a certification or something.
Thank you. And so I got one of those, and now I'm able to work anywhere in New York State as a custodian. But unfortunately, they didn't get the contract, and I left. I tried going back into retail recently. Didn't work out. I started my talk show back in November. Fast forward now. This is 2009. Talk 10, 11, 12. I was unemployed. And 2013, I used he thinks I'm an ass kisser, but it's true. And I swear to God, it's true. I used my brother for a perfect example. Because all my family members had learning disabilities. But look at what they're doing now. One of them's a teacher. One's a poetry writer. One's a best-selling author. I don't know what the other one's doing, but he's doing great things. And I'm the youngest out of 4 brothers and 1 sister. And I'm like, they all had learning disabilities at one time or another. But look, one's a teacher, one's a best-selling author, one's a poetry writer. I don't know what the other 2 are doing. I know, but they're doing good things. And I said, if they can do it, I can do it too. And I came up with the idea of saying, I'm going to show people that with a learning disability, saying, hey, I can't go to college, I can't drive, I may be put in a group home or whatever. They like to scare, my family likes to screw with me. And I'm going to say, hey, I live only once, I'm going to do what I love. And thanks to you, we're up to 245.
Yay!
And,
and growing.
Yes. And there's more to the story, but I don't want to bitch to you about it. But basically, the highlights was I started off 2013. Don't ask me why. Seemed like a good idea. Doing all audio conversations. Blank screen, this audio part. There's a video playing in the background. I was like, okay, let's see how it goes. Oh, you have this great format. Why aren't you as big or bigger when you portray yourself to be? Well, would you like to help me with that? No. If you can't get sponsors or whatever, that's your problem. It's like, okay, thanks, asshole. I thought you were helping me out, but you're actually throwing it back in my face. I didn't say that to them, but, whatever. 2 years later, I can say whatever I want.
You're uncensored.
Right. And there was a woman that I wanted on my show, and I apologized to her online. I tried doing it in person, but I will try. Next time I see her, I will tell her. Basically, I invited her to be on my show. She's a former Power Ranger. Won't say who.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, hey, my show's about this. It's about that. No, thank you. And the next day, I kid you not, hey, everyone, I'm blah, 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 and I have a brand new show called Uncensored, and I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and my son of a bitch. She took everything I just told her and using it for herself, and I was pissed. But then I was thinking about it. 2 weeks later, I went back and apologized. I said, look, I have a learning disability. I was upset. I was working 24 hours, 24/7 on this. I didn't expect you to, punch me in the nuts, literally what you did, because you took my whole concept. I'm going to be the bigger man. I apologize. Her agent says, that's not good enough. If you said everything you said, all I said to her, she was an asshole. That's it. I didn't call her the N-word. I didn't call her the C word or the S word. Because I'm not that type of person. Well, if you piss me off, it might come up. But I was being professional. I apologize. And he said, that's not good enough. Look, I'm handicapped. I didn't mean what I said. I'm sorry I took offense. And the response was, we don't set policies from people like you.
What?
And so then I said, way to go yourself. And I was done with her. So I mentioned on my, if you go on my website, I was interviewed. And I told a story on my past 3 interviews. And the reason I'm telling you is it's been a long time since I brought it up. But it's kind of like, okay, uncensored, you can use it. I can use it. Your cat or dog can use it. Everyone can use uncensored. Uncensored is one of those words you can do whatever you want with. But the part that pissed me off was she didn't even hesitate. She didn't wait. She waited like a week, 2 weeks, a month, and said, hey, I have a new show, Uncensored. I wouldn't have cared. The next day, or not even 8 hours after I told her, she used it for herself. And now she thinks I took it from her. And it's like, oh my God, I can't deal with people like this. But it's kind of like, I don't know. I don't mean to bitch to you. I apologize. But that's basically the whole story on how everything from, basically it was a learning disability. I met some people who weren't really that good. I met some good friends out of it. I met a lot of assholes out of it. That's my road to assess.
It's so interesting because I think that's everybody's road in a way. We just have different disabilities. Yours maybe your learning disability and very obvious for many people, but we all have disabilities. We all do, of one way or another. And And I think we humans like to hide them and hide behind our disabilities, and not just put them out there and say, hey, this is who I am. I'm not saying that I'm great at it, because I do hide mine as well. Many times I'm guilty. Um, but this is so interesting, because I feel that I'm on a road or on a trip right now towards myself, and being more uncensored with me and others as well, and opening up, and saying, well, this is who I am, this is what you get, and if you like it, great. If you don't like it, that's great as well. So I find it fantastic that you and I and our paths cross at this point in time, at least of my life, because you've been on this road for a little bit. So I have to tell you again, and that's why once I investigated a little bit about you, because there are a lot of clowns out there.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of people that are, just fake, and are doing all kinds of stuff, and I don't want to be part of that. Like I said, I'm on a road towards truth, so I just don't want any fake kind of, So once I knew who you were and what you were about, I said, I have no doubt. I want to talk to you, and I want to do this. This is amazing. I have, and I'll tell you a little bit about this. I have an initiative, or just an idea of something I'm calling If I Believe. And this came about because a friend of mine and we're talking. She's going through a very, very, very rough time in her life, and she's a dear friend of mine, my sister, I can say. And we're on this project that I want to do. I'm not going to tell you now, but if we have interview number 1000 something down the road, I will hopefully tell you more, because we're going to be on the road to the project. But I call this If I Believe, because I think there's a lot of good out there in the world. There is a lot of garbage and assholes, like you say, but I feel there's a lot of views and a lot of me's, and there's still many, many good souls out there. And if you believe, anything can happen, and anything can be done. So if you read my blog, I talk about that, If I Believe. And I believe this, you and me talking, is part of that. It's just part of that. And I wish you all the best. And I have no doubt this is, where is it going to end? I guess you don't know. Nobody knows. But you're doing good for yourself, and you're doing good for others. And that's all that matters at the end.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, wrapping up, do you have any funny stories you like to share, or any words of wisdom?
Well, I think all I can say is I'm an artist that loves what she does. I had many doubts in my life about many things. But I think one that my gut always knew was that there is this artist in me that wants to say something. And I wasn't brave enough many years ago to face it and do it. I have to admit I was a coward. I come from a traditional home where acting and, it was all good while it was a hobby.
Right.
Right? So I played the guitar at family parties, I sang, and I did this, and it was all great. But when it was time for it to be a career, some, eyebrows got raised, and questions, and people got scared, and I'm not going to name names, but And I believed that that was true. And part of me believed that that was the road, that I should be in business, doing what normal people do, you know? And so for me, it has been a struggle. It has been hard breaking away from my own taboos, and saying, yes, you know, this is what you want to do. Is it going to be hard? Yes. You know, I've never been unemployed. Since I was 19, I have been self-sufficient, self-supportive. Now I'm one of those struggling actors, I guess you can say. Thank God I have a wonderful husband that supports me. I mean, he's a fantastic man. And thanks to him, I'm able to do this without having to worry too much about the economics. But it's a struggle. But all I can say, I guess, for others and to myself, because I have to say it to myself a lot every day, this is it. I believe this is my path. I believe this is what I need to do and I want to do. I know I can help others also along the way, in different ways. Maybe inspiring, maybe bringing them with me in projects, maybe being the channel to bring to life characters that have to say something. So, I feel there's a lot for me and there's a lot for others in it as well. And so I guess all I can say to people is just try, just keep not try, do. Believe you can do, and when in doubt, just go deep inside yourself, because the truth is there. We don't have to search outside. We don't have to talk to anybody most of the time. We know inside what's our calling and what is it that we have to do. And we just have to fight for it, I guess, and just go for it.